Indus Valley Civilization. Undiscovered secrets.
The ancient world, a time of pharaohs in Egypt, a time of powerful rulers in Mesopotamia. These civilizations flourished. They left their mark on history, but few realize another civilization rivaled their greatness. In the Indus Valley, a forgotten world awaits. This is the story of the Indus Valley Civilization, a civilization as advanced as its contemporaries, a civilization that thrived for over 2,000 years. Join us as we unearth the mysteries of this lost world. Life in the Indus Valley revolved around a powerful force, the Indus River. This mighty river, originating in the Himalayas, provided lifeblood to the land. Its annual floods deposited fertile silt, enriching the soil. Around 3300 BCE, the people of the Indus Valley harnessed the river's power. They developed sophisticated irrigation systems. These systems allowed them to cultivate crops like wheat, barley, and cotton. Agriculture flourished. With a surplus of food, the Indus people prospered. Their villages grew into towns, their population increased. A new era was dawning, an era of urbanization and cultural advancement. The Indus Valley Civilization did not emerge overnight, it arose gradually. Small farming villages dotted the landscape. These villages were the building blocks of this great civilization. Archaeological excavations tell a story of these early communities. They cultivated crops, they domesticated animals, they lived in harmony with their environment. These communities were self-sufficient. They relied on their own skills and resources. They grew their own food, they made their own tools, they built their own homes. Life was simple, but it was a life of community. It was a life of shared values. And it was from these humble beginnings that a civilization would rise. The Indus River was the lifeblood of the civilization. It was more than just a source of water. It was a force of nature. Each year, the river would flood. These floods could be destructive, but they were also a blessing. The floods deposited rich silt onto the land. This silt acted as a natural fertilizer. The Indus people learned to harness the floods. They developed irrigation systems. These systems controlled the flow of water. They directed water to their fields. This mastery of water management was revolutionary. It allowed them to grow crops year-round. It led to a surplus of food, and it paved the way for the growth of cities. The seeds of innovation, early Indus technology. The Indus people were not just farmers, they were also skilled craftspeople. They developed new technologies that improved their lives. They developed the potter's wheel, which allowed them to create uniform and durable pottery. They developed standardized weights and measures, facilitating trade and commerce. They mastered the art of working with metals, crafting tools, weapons, and ornaments. They developed a system of writing, a system that remains undeciphered. But even without understanding their language, we can appreciate their ingenuity. The Indus people were innovators, problem solvers, laying the foundation for a civilization that would leave an enduring legacy. The rise of cities, Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro. As the Indus people prospered, their villages transformed. They evolved into something extraordinary: cities. Not just small settlements, but large planned urban centers. Two cities stood out, Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro. These cities were marvels of urban planning. They were laid out on a grid system, with streets intersecting at right angles. This sophisticated design was far ahead of its time, speaking volumes about their organizational skills. These cities were not just centers of administration, they were melting pots of culture and commerce. People from different walks of life lived and worked side by side. Merchants traded goods, and artisans crafted their wares. These cities were more than just bricks and mortar. They were testaments to the ingenuity and social organization of the Indus people. They were places where people came together, lived and thrived. Master planners, the grid and beyond. The Indus cities were not only impressive for their size, they were remarkable for their infrastructure. The grid system was just the beginning. Beneath the streets lay another marvel, a sophisticated drainage system. Most houses had their own bathrooms and toilets. Wastewater flowed through covered drains that ran alongside the streets and emptied into larger sewage pits. This system ensured sanitation and hygiene. Such advanced urban planning was unheard of in most ancient civilizations. It spoke to a deep understanding of public health and a commitment to the well-being of their citizens. The Indus cities were not simply places of grandeur. They were carefully planned environments designed to meet the needs of their inhabitants. They stand as a testament to the ingenuity and forward-thinking nature of this remarkable civilization. The houses in Indus cities varied in size. Some were modest, others were grand, but most followed a similar design. They were built around a central courtyard. This courtyard provided light and ventilation. Many houses had their own wells. This ensured access to clean water. The larger houses had separate rooms for bathing. Some even had toilets. These features highlighted their emphasis on sanitation. The discovery of toys, games, and jewelry within these homes tells us more. It paints a picture of family life. It hints at their values and leisure activities. These were not just houses, they were homes. They were places where families lived, laughed, and grew. They offer us a glimpse into the everyday lives of the Indus people. They remind us that even in a civilization so different from our own, the fundamentals of human experience remain remarkably similar. Imagine a world without words as we know them, a world where communication took on a different form. This was the reality of the Indus Valley Civilization. They possessed a writing system, but it remains a mystery. This system is known as the Indus script. It consists of hundreds of symbols. These symbols appear on seals, pottery, and tools. They are often accompanied by images, but their meaning eludes us. Scholars have been trying to decipher the Indus script for decades. They have made some progress, but a complete understanding remains elusive. The script's brevity and the lack of a Rosetta Stone present formidable obstacles. The Indus script is more than just a collection of symbols. It is a window into their world. It holds the key to understanding their beliefs, their thoughts, and their stories. And until we unlock its secrets, the Indus Valley Civilization will continue to hold on to many of its mysteries. Despite the challenges, scholars remain determined to break the code of the Indus script. They employ various methods. They analyze the patterns of the symbols. They compare them to other ancient writing systems. They use computer programs to identify recurring sequences. They search for clues in the accompanying images. They hope to find a linguistic link. This link could unlock the secrets of the script. Some believe the script represents a Dravidian language. Others argue for a connection to Indo-European languages. The debate continues. Each new discovery fuels the search for answers. The decipherment of the Indus script would be a monumental achievement. It would illuminate a lost chapter of human history. It would give voice to a civilization that has been silent for millennia. And it would bring us closer to understanding our shared human past. The Indus Valley Civilization was built on a foundation of agriculture. The fertile floodplains of the Indus River provided the lifeblood for their society. Their sophisticated irrigation systems allowed them to harness the river's bounty. Wheat and barley were staple crops. They cultivated a variety of grains, legumes, and fruits. Evidence suggests they were among the first to domesticate cotton. This mastery of agriculture fueled their growth. They understood the importance of surplus. Grain was stored in granaries. This ensured food security during lean times. It also allowed them to trade with other regions. This agricultural abundance was the bedrock of their civilization. It allowed for specialization of labor. It fueled the growth of cities, and it paved the way for their economic prosperity. Trade was the lifeblood of the Indus economy. Their cities were hubs of commerce. A vast network of trade routes connected them to distant lands. They traded with their neighbors in the Indian subcontinent. These routes were both overland and maritime. Camels carried goods across the deserts. Ships sailed along the coast. They exchanged their surplus agricultural produce. They traded for raw materials like timber. They traded for raw materials like copper. They traded for raw materials like precious stones. These materials were used to produce finished goods. These goods were then traded throughout their network. This intricate web of trade brought wealth to the Indus cities. It also facilitated cultural exchange. Ideas, beliefs and technologies spread along these routes. Trade was not just about economic prosperity, it was a unifying force that connected them to the wider world. The Indus people were not limited to regional trade. Evidence suggests they had contacts with distant civilizations. Indus seals have been found in Mesopotamia. This indicates the existence of trade links. These seals were not isolated finds, they were found in contexts associated with trade. This suggests the Indus people were active participants in a vast trade network. They traded their prized cotton textiles, they traded their pottery and ornaments. In return, they received Mesopotamian goods. These goods included silver, tin, and luxury items. This international trade had a profound impact on the Indus civilization. It brought them wealth and exotic goods, it exposed them to new ideas, and it cemented their place as a major player on the stage of the ancient world. The Indus Valley Civilization did not collapse overnight. Its demise was a gradual process, a slow decline that unfolded over centuries. The signs were subtle at first but grew more pronounced over time. Cities that were once bustling centers of activity began to shrink. Grand public buildings fell into disrepair. The intricate drainage systems, once a hallmark of their urban planning, were neglected. The quality of goods declined. Standardized weights and measures, once a sign of their sophisticated economy, became less common. The once thriving trade networks contracted. What caused this slow decline? There is no single answer. Scholars believe it was a combination of factors. A perfect storm of environmental, economic and social pressures that gradually weakened the civilization's foundations. Climate change may have played a significant role in the Indus decline. Geological evidence suggests a shift in monsoon patterns. The rains that nourished their crops became less reliable. Droughts became more frequent. Harvests failed. The Indus River, the lifeblood of their civilization, may have changed course. This would have been devastating. Their reliance on the river's floods for irrigation may have also backfired. Over-irrigation can lead to salinization. This makes the land infertile. Faced with these challenges, the Indus people struggled to adapt. Their agricultural system, once the bedrock of their prosperity, was failing. They were running out of options. As conditions worsened, the people of the Indus Valley began to move. They migrated eastward towards the Ganges plain. They sought more fertile lands. These migrations were not mass exoduses, they were gradual over generations. People left their cities in search of a better life elsewhere. The cities, once vibrant centers of civilization, slowly emptied. The remaining inhabitants struggled to maintain their way of life. The Indus Valley Civilization did not disappear entirely. Its influence lived on in the cultures that followed, but its time as a major power had come to an end. The great cities were abandoned. The once mighty civilization faded into memory. The Indus Valley Civilization, a civilization of remarkable achievements, a civilization shrouded in mystery. Though it vanished millennia ago, its legacy endures. It stands as a testament to human ingenuity, resilience, and the enduring power of culture. From the ruins of their cities, we glimpse a people who valued order, planning, and sanitation. Their advanced urban planning, their sophisticated drainage systems, and their standardized weights and measures speak to their desire for a well-organized and prosperous society. Though their script remains undeciphered, the Indus people speak to us through their artifacts, their art, and the very layout of their cities. They remind us that even the greatest civilizations are not immune to the forces of change. Climate shifts, environmental degradation, and social upheaval can topple even the mightiest empires. The Indus Valley Civilization may be gone, but it is not forgotten. It serves as a reminder of the interconnectedness of human societies, the importance of sustainable practices, and the enduring legacy of even the most ancient cultures. Their story is a story of innovation, adaptation, and ultimately, the cyclical nature of civilizations. Let their stories serve as a lesson to us all as we navigate the complexities of our own time.